Hey, welcome back to the channel, and today's project I'm going to be trying to build a bookcase out of whatever scrap wood I've got, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back, and as I stated, I want to try and build a bookcase out of whatever scrap wood I've got here in my garage. And I've got books kind of located all over the house, in just about every room, nightstands, even in my closet, as you can see. And so anyway, I want to build a bookcase for our office that we can put a lot of these books on. I've got some space in there against the wall that I can use. I just need to take some measurements and remove a piece of exercise equipment that we don't really use. And then see what kind of wood I've got to work with, and then go from there. All right, so what I think I want to do is create just some basic bookshelf similar to this, and roughly 3 feet tall, maybe 3-4 feet wide. Really depends on what kind of wood I've got here. So let's take a look at what wood we've got available, and then we can decide exactly how big we can build this. All right, so I think we've got quite a bit of plywood here to work with. That should give us plenty. I know plywood is not the best wood to build a bookcase out of, but it's a lot better than pressed wood that make most of that furniture out of now. And it'd be nice, you know, to have a solid oak bookcase, but I don't want to spend that kind of money on wood right now, especially with the prices of lumber. But yeah, I think we can use this. So we'll get that pulled out and then start working from there. And I think the only thing we may end up needing, which actually we might not even need to go and buy some trim wood. I may have enough to work with, but let's see what we got. All right, so I think we've got enough of this plywood to work with. These are just a tad over 8 feet, so they're actually 96.5 inches. A little bit too wide, so we'll have to cut these back. So we could potentially get, if we go 12 inches deep, we could potentially get 2 shelves out of each one. All right, so the one thing that we're going to have to work with are all these screw holes that are in this plywood. Since it was used for shelves, we had a lot of screws. I'll have to fill those, whatever ones are visible in the finished product, with some wood filler. And then I'm not quite sure I'm going to finish this out, if we'll paint it. If we paint it white to match the desk that's in there. Otherwise, we may stain it. I'll have to get some input from my wife on that. But at least we got something to work with, and so let's get moving.
Will I cry? Will I leave behind broken and crumbled signs, hiding all my roads to you? Uh-oh. And if I fight, will I come to life, calling for all your light, giving all to you. Uh-oh. And I've been falling, I've been lost, and I've been calling on my ghost. I will stay to find every hidden sign, taking all my roads to you. And I will fight. I will come to life, calling for all your lights, giving my light back to you. And I've been falling, I've been lost, and I've been calling on my ghost. I put it to rest because I'm coming home, coming home.
All right, I think the way that we will put this thing together is to do some pocket hole screws on it and glue. And then I'll probably run some support pieces under each shelf, and then we'll hide that with trim on the front. All right, and for these side panels, we'll only need it in the top end to go up into the top. All right, so I'm just going to take some pine to make the little supports for the shelves. And we'll cut this in half, and then we'll cut it into 11-inch. Basically, we're going to need 4 of them. All right, when you're doing pocket holes, you want to make sure you use the right kind of screws. So we'll use these Craig screws for softwood, plywood. These are 1 1/4 inch long. That's what you use on 3/4 inch plywood. All right, let's get some glue on these edges. You don't want to go too tight with these screws because they tend to come out the other end, especially in soft wood. Alright, so we'll use some glue and brad nails on these supports. This should give the shelf plenty of support that once we do the pocket hole screws and attach that, that we won't have any issues of this coming off.
I feel the most when I'm alone. I think of you 'cause when you're gone, I remember the feelings, they're hidden in the dark. I never let my feelings show. I feel the most when I'm alone, but now the rush is longing to be waking up. I belong in your future, but I'm fighting in the dark. You never let your feelings show anymore. We don't kiss the way we used to anymore. The point to be alone. My life is empty without you, there'd be no home. I done wrong in the past, but I was fighting in the dark, and I won't hold my feelings back anymore.
Alright, so we got these 1/4" panels that we can use for the back side. They don't quite match each other. One's a little bit darker, but if we go ahead and paint it, that won't matter. And again, this thing is just using leftover wood that I have laying around from other projects because I didn't want to go out and buy any more wood. So we'll see how these can work on here. Okay, and of course my battery died, but I got one back panel on here. I just got to measure, stick the second piece on, and then we'll throw the trim on the front. I'll probably make just some square blocks to put on as feet just to raise it up off the floor. I haven't quite decided yet on how I'm going to do that, but let me get this other 1/4" panel cut for this back here. Alright, now I'm just going to make some square feet. We'll just tack those on with some glue and brad nails.
I am all alone. The feelings are so hard to show you. I think of you 'cause I have not got the feeling that I still have for you anymore. I wanna kiss the way we used to anymore. You don't have to wait anymore. You're holding on.
And then we'll put some felt on the bottom of those too. Of course, first thing we'll want to do is just give this a real light sanding all over, knock all the stray pieces off and the burrs before we put whatever finish on it. Alright, so now what we need to do is to create some trim pieces from top to bottom and then going across the front of each one of these shelves. Okay, now we get our trim pieces. We'll want to glue and tack those in.
Feelings let 'em pour out on me anymore. Way we used to anymore. You don't have to wait anymore.
Now we want to run a trim piece along the front of each of these shelves. Now I want to put a trim piece along this top and sides, and then I'll have to miter those corners so that it looks good.
Let 'em pour out on me.
Okay, I think at this point we've got the shelf built. This corner didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to, but a little fill and some sanding will take care of that. Overall, I think it turned out pretty good. I want to do a light sanding and then we'll paint it. And I'll do that finishing work on another video. I think I'm going to end this video right here. And certainly appreciate you watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications on future videos to come out. And then also comment below. It certainly helps the channel grow. If you got any feedback or comments, questions, whatever. All right, take care. We'll see you in the next one.